Welcome back to the New Music Alliance Radio Hour. I'm Violet Hausthor, joined this week by Robin Johnson from the Stone Church up in Brattleboro. You just heard The Devil Makes Three with Beneath the Piano. Before that, Pat the Bunny with I'm Not a Good Person. And starting things off, Sam Amidon with a really fun cover of Walking on Sunshine. Let's start things off with The Devil Makes Three. All three of these acts are out of Brattleboro, Vermont, really right at home in the scene, and obviously Devil Makes Three is really cool.
The Devils are some of our dearest acts. I remember when we were building the venue, I saw them in a parking lot in Putney, talked to them about the project, and they were all excited. And so it only took me about 6 years to actually get them to play in the venue,
Yeah.
but finally it happened. And it's an incredible show, and we love working with them there. They really are an embodiment of some of that Brattleboro. I like to call it like a train hop scene,
Hmm.
very like DIY folk punk aesthetic that kind of mixes traditional music with like more edgy, punky aspects. And
Yeah.
they're a great example of that. And they're an act that came from that beginnings and became more mainstream and more accepted, like on a wide scale.
Yeah, they're very, very well known and very popular. They're also in our Essential Western New England Songbook, a listenable anthology of many of the best songs ever written by artists from Western New England, with their song The Plank. And speaking of people in the songbook, Pat the Bunny is in there too. And this song, I'm Not a Good Person, is just perfect folk punk bliss. Like, you want to talk about the folk punk scene in Brattleboro, Pat the Bunny is also very, very front and center.
Yeah, I grouped these two together because they come from, I feel like, the same place, but got their acceptance in different zones. Like
Yeah.
where Devil Makes Three broke out into a more mainstream, Pat the Bunny was more of like a very well-known folk hero among that DIY punk scene. And so he never got record deals or anything like that, but was, a legend in that scene like throughout the country.
An absolute legend of the folk punk scene, the DIY scene, and the anarcho punk scene, like in a lot of ways. Really an absolute legend.
He's one of the ones who hasn't played at the venue because he
Mm.
had stopped playing at that time. But his younger brother Michael had
Oh,
he used to be in a band called Michael Jordan Touchdown Pass, and so they played.
I love that
Uh,
name.
yeah, great band name.
Still an incredible act. And then, of course, we started off that block with Sam Amidon, obviously a legendary singer-songwriter and multi-instrumentalist, especially in the traditional and folk scenes. Really talented player and singer, just so rooted in traditional folk music while having a sense of play. And that sort of play is obvious in doing a cover of Walking on Sunshine. It's such a cool cover, though.
Yeah, that's why I kind of went for a cover instead of one of his originals. He's by far the most traditional musician I have on this list. I focus the list on people that are played or will play or fit the venue because there's so many amazing musicians in the area. We could have gone, I could have gone in a whole different direction with folk or traditional music. But Sam's a good example of someone who bridges that traditional aesthetic along with adding a real jazz player's ear and approach to playing. Like his shows at the church are just amazing because he's so creative in taking that traditional music and turning it into something new. And so that's why I liked going with the cover on that one.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. It's really recontextualizing this cheery 80s pop song into something a lot more grounded and earthy. I love his singing on this. It's just so I hear what you mean about the jazz ear on this. It's really unique. Can you hear any of these artists coming up soon at the Stone Church or?
We are working on something with the Devil Makes Three, potentially doing another outdoor show with them. They're
Mm.
just so popular. It's when we did do the show in the venue, we kind of had to keep it quiet and didn't publicize tickets were on sale and it's still sold out. So we need for them we need a kind of a big venue. Sam we bring back usually once a year, maybe every other year, but we had one of the most amazing listening room shows last year was Sam with Mark Ribot, the
Mm,
guitarist. And that was just an incredible show. Like unmatched creativity. Really incredible show.
absolutely. And in the meantime, while we're waiting to hear some more of them at the Stone Church, you can hear Sam Amidon playing on March 26th at the Parlor Room in Northampton, Massachusetts. Coming up next, we have another few incredible acts. We've got Matt and Kim, the Snaz, and Dari Bay. Let's start things off with Matt and Kim doing Daylight.